Hello, my beauties. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hopefully my camera is straight. Okay, it looks like it is. We are live. Hi, it's Viv. I'm here for my Sunday live and just to hang out with you guys. There is a topic. I shouldn't just say just to hang out with you guys. So the topic is from my notes, 5 fears that I faced and yeah, and how I dealt with them. And hopefully it can inspire you, especially if you are a woman. And these are probably some really common, just human fears that I'm going to talk about. And I've touched on some of them before, but we'll just go from a slightly different angle. So, as Stephanie Perry always says, which I really appreciate, just say hello as you come in. And what I'll do with the second half of the live is, again, just because it's really nice, those of you who do attend live, I will do just a mini reading, a card draw based on what is your fear. So that overall theme is talking about our fears, okay, and facing them or approaching them. And so then I'll do readings and I'll pull from either the Ocean deck, the Faces of Ocean, as folks come in. Hey, welcome. And from, I don't have the box, but the Sacred Traveler deck, which is by Denise Lynn. She is Native American. This is Hay House, and I really like it. It takes life as a journey, using that journey metaphor. And then, of course, this is by Abiola Abrams, who was on my channel and who I did an unboxing for this deck, Faces of Ocean Oracle. Okay, so do stick around for that. Just say hi, where are you from, or how you're doing today. I'm sorry I'm late, it's just getting ready. I couldn't decide what to wear. Now I like what I'm wearing. And these are like my favorite colors, so I had to go get my headscarf. It was just a lot, okay? So let's just hang out. It's Sunday. Typically, I've been going live. For a while, I was going live around 11, but that actually clashed with another popular live, and so I've shifted to around sometime between 1 and 3 every Sunday, okay? And usually a recorded video, like a meditation or affirmations or something like that on Thursday is my aim, but it's not always Thursday. Hey, Gregory. Hey, Donna. It's nice to see you. So yeah, I've got the laptop, the beat up laptop. It's starting to get, I need to clean it off. But again, you can see the camera quality is pretty good. And I've got my background slightly blurred, but this is my real background. This is not AI. These are my cloud paintings, my little stand, and my plants. Let's see. This is real. Pretty soon, none of it will matter. Nothing will be real. Yeah, my plants are doing pretty well, actually. So, yeah, and just figuring out what to wear was a pain in the ass. If you hear loud rock or folk or any kind of music, there's like a festival going on actually around my neighborhood. I don't want to say too much about it but it's like live music is happening. So 1 minute ago, there was like really loud music and then it stopped. So who's here today? I'm going to put you up. Saw that Donna is here. Welcome, Goddess. Gregory is here. And again, and some of the shy folks, because I see more folks are here, but they're shy. And Gregory is here, longtime supporter of the channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, say hi. It's like if you came in a room, you wouldn't just kind of hang out in the corner. I mean, maybe I would. Maybe you would. But if there's like one other person, that would be weird. So say greetings, say hello, nanu nanu, or whatever. I don't know. Remember that? I think that was Mark and Mindy. So welcome. We will have some ADHD references, some references that are go back too far for many of you. All right, I got my water, and like I said, stick around and I'll pull for you about what fears are holding you back. All right, so again, some of these I talked about before, but I was watching another channel and they did like a listicle, which is like 10 something, and I was like, yeah, the easiest thing for me to talk about is this because it is on my mind. So I'm going to announce something. Now, if I regret it, I'll just take the video down. So if the video disappears, so you guys, I turned. Okay, are you ready? I know I have gray hair. If I dye it, a lot of people can't guess my age. So if I didn't have the gray hair, I just turned 62. Yes, 62 very, very recently. I'm not going to say the day because it's not safe to say you're like, people do it, but it's not a good idea. Now, on the dark web, if people want to know, of course, we know they can find out anything about you, right? They can find out if you have a mole on your butt, it's on the internet somewhere, okay? But I turned 62, you guys, so I'm really, really happy to be alive. But what I'm also happy about is, and again, probably well, 62, if you're American, you know you can go for your Social Security. Yes. So please send me birthday wishes. It was recently, and I was back in America. But I'm really happy. I'm really, really happy. I made it to 62. And you all know, you see some celebrities, they don't even make it, they're like die in their 50s. And I'm like, what? You had the best, you could have had the best chef, the best this, the best doctors, the best. And these, I'm not even talking about people who like drug overdose. They end up just passing from something in their 50s. So I'm really grateful, honestly. Okay, so let me see your comments. Now that I've admitted my age, this is the first time ever. Like I said, I may take the video down or I may edit that piece out. Yeah, okay, see, Donna's with me. Geeks in the house all together. Holistic. We are holistic geeks. Breathe. Okay. Gregory says, my phone loves you too, because I was listening to something else and all of a sudden there you were. Okay, that's odd. Well, you must have the bell notifications, though YouTube does not always notify you guys, okay? And I really am going to talk about these fears, and I want you to share. Obviously, don't tell all your business on the internet, okay? Change your name. I don't know. Say it's my friend had this problem, okay? Thank you. This is why I like Gregory, he says. Oh, you're both 62 and looking good. Well, thank you, because we know we age very well, okay? Thank you. So yeah, 62. I do have a little note to share about that. There is a woman on Instagram. I can't remember her name. She's probably about 64 now. Huge channel, but her channel is about, she's a yoga teacher, but she's like, I'm 64 years old, aren't I? You know, and I'm a yoga teacher and she looks great. Okay. And I was talking to her and she said to me, she said, you need to say your age. Because I was like, no, I don't want to talk about my age. She goes, no, no, you would blow up if you say your age because it's part of what's going to appeal to people is like, oh wow, okay, and she's doing yoga and she's doing this. Anyway, she really encouraged me to just like say my age, and I was like, no. She's like, you believe me, you'll get brand deals. I'm like, no, I don't want to be doing brand deals because I'm in my 60s. So anyway, what do you guys think? Let me know. Okay, but she's always like hawking something, not like bad, you know, but she'll be like, use this. I use this all the time, you know, and I'm like, okay, there's certain things I'm not going to hawk to you no matter what. I don't care how much they would pay. Thank you, Mel. Thank you. I'm looking back at my computer where I can really see your comments. Thank you. You know, also Prince said something about birthdays. There's a clip of him on YouTube where he's like, I don't celebrate birthdays. He goes, is that, you know, and he's Prince. So imagine all that, you know, just full of himselfness. And he says, because as far as I know, we only had one day that we were born. I was like, okay. And his point, basically, he's like, I'm not going to celebrate aging. Like, he's like, I don't, and he looked fabulous in this. And he might have even already been in his 60s. He's like, basically, I don't want to focus on the aging. And so he's like, I was born, I had one birthday, and then the rest, I'm just alive. And I get it. Anyway, so I'm thinking about it. Okay, so what was the first fear that I faced as a solo woman in my 60s? And I'm going to base it all on the traveling you guys know I was doing, and God willing, we'll be doing again. It was the fear of traveling alone. That's the first one. Now, I had never, ever traveled on an airplane by myself. Okay, so I was very scared, you guys, when I went abroad just the last day of January of this year. I really had a lot of fear about it because when I had traveled before, as you guys know, I traveled like with my best friend. So that was very scary The weird thing is, and so I'll also try to give a tip about it. The weird thing is once I was out, as many travel folks and are saying on YouTube, it's true. Once I was like arrived somewhere else, I then like kept going and kept, and it this is the thing with fear. Once you do the thing, it typically goes down. Okay. The fear goes down because you're already doing the thing. It doesn't tend to escalate. Okay. So the fear of traveling alone, which I'm going to expound on why, and let me know if you have some of these fears. So I was just scared because I'm like, last time I was on an airplane, it was embarrassingly a little over 20 years ago now, right? Or exactly 20 years ago, I think, when I left. So things have changed. I don't know. The airplanes are different. I don't know. They're not stewardesses anymore. What are they called? I don't know. It was just very scary. Also, again, I'm in the US and all the stuff we're hearing, passing through, going out, more coming back in. So I just had a lot of fear about traveling alone. Again, being over 60 by myself. I just took the leap because as many of you know, a voice was like, get out. This was last January. This January that we survived, and the voice was like, just get out, go. Okay, the second fear, and then I'm going to look at your comments. The fear of getting sick alone. Okay, fear of getting sick alone abroad. And again, this doesn't have to be, I don't want it to be just about travel because I know some of you are very settled where you are in the US or maybe you're Canada. I have Canadian viewers or wherever you are. So don't get stuck on that. I'm talking about travel, though I will say that because some other people are going to be interested because it is travel. But my travel fears, they were around travel because that was the big life change I wanted to do. So fear of getting sick alone, and that happened too. That happened to me. That was very scary. When I was in France, it was the last Airbnb I ended up staying at in a small town in like central France. So I wasn't in Paris. I wasn't in Lyon, which I like saying like that because it's Lyon, because the stewardess said it that way when we had to like land the plane there. It's not Lion or Lyon, it's Lyon. Anyway, I even went to a hospital, you guys. Not right away because that's how I am. I waited and I went to the hospital in France and I was told not a single doctor spoke English. Okay, so my fears came through. This fear of getting sick and you're alone, and it hit me viscerally, meaning I was feeling some discomfort and I was like, oh my God, like, who really knows I'm here and what will happen? And I just want to say, yeah, you could really just, kick the bucket. It can happen. So I'm putting that out there. This may not be your coping mechanism, but you have to kind of accept worst case scenario can happen. Okay. And this is where I'm going to mention meditation. I'm going to do several commercials for my meditation program, which is actually tonight. Early registration is closing, so I don't want some of you to miss it. It is only open to Black women and women of color in this cohort, okay? Now, typically, it was Black women and women of color most of the time anyway, but I'm just saying for this particular cohort also, just to really put that out there because there's so much happening. There's so much stress going on, so I'm just really like kind of closing the gate. Okay, and tonight is the end of early registration, so I will put the link. So because I meditate, this is one of the benefits of meditation. I literally can kind of watch my pain in a way. I'm not running from it, you guys. I can literally meditate on the discomfort. That's something you actually can train to do. Okay, let me know if you guys have heard of this. So many people with chronic pain, for example, train in meditation, especially mindfulness-based stress reduction, MBSR, because you can learn to literally just be there with pain. It's amazing. Okay. So I kind of watched what was happening for a while. Like I said, went to the hospital. They found one woman administrator who spoke English. She was very nice. She said, none of our doctors speak English. So I had my phone and I'm like, do I want to go and see the doctor? Mind you, you guys, the doctor would have cost me $30 in France. So for like, to see me, $30. So it wasn't the money. It was more, can I explain to this man most likely what's going on, what I'm feeling. I can't, because I don't speak French. So that fear came through. And what did I write down? What did I really end up doing while I left the hospital? Um, for that, this is my tip. I feel like I might have shared this before, but again, not everybody sees every video. So definitely if you are traveling, if it's specifically fears about traveling, definitely have travel um, health insurance, which mine had run out. So I really believe that's also what precipitated the stress that I started to feel sick, because I knew it had run out and I started to get scared. So have travel insurance, but also have extra money, right? Have extra money. And if you're desperate, of course, Google Translate could have helped. I learned, I mean, it's pretty simple, but to use Google Translate in conversation mode, it doesn't always work smoothly. But when it does, you guys, it's just really good. You talk, you just have to kind of pause a little. It'll translate. The person talks. I mean, it works. You just moving your phone back to their mouth, your mouth, whatever. Okay. So that fear of getting sick alone is actually what made me come back to the US, because I decided, okay, I'm going to get all my checkups. And so that's really that fear. That's how I dealt with it. And and I did take some other action. I got some sort of temporary, which is another thing, right? So every fear, there's usually a solution. So while in France, I was able to actually get some other medicines on my own, um, that really helped. Okay. So I wasn't like suffering the whole like 10 more days or whatever that I had to deal with. So again, when you're dealing with fears, um, understand it's very rarely the worst case. And often there's a solution that you either may not have thought of. And I won't go into details, but I did something kind of unusual, but I was able to get specific medicines that I needed, and was able to finish the time, in France and come back home. Okay. But again, if you're scared of this traveling, definitely have your health insurance for traveling is very important. And you can use your Google Translate if you have to go into the doctor. Okay. Or buy one of those translator things that they have now that apparently is just real time. Like I said, the Google Translate is very nearly real time translation. My other fear was getting lost. Okay. And I'll look at your comments after this. Let me know if all of these fears I pretty much could have had in America. Also, think about that, right? Even traveling alone, right? What if I was going to go down to Florida or go to Texas? Still could be some fear, right? So it doesn't just have to be, like I said, around traveling. So I was afraid of getting lost by myself, right? Nobody else to be like, oh, what do we do? Oh, okay, no, okay, understand this, read the signs together and talk it through. I didn't have that. And I did get lost. The Paris metro is no joke. I know I talked about this with you before. So those of you, but how did I deal with it? I really felt the fear. And again, this goes back to meditation. I really was able to I felt myself getting afraid, but I was aware of the fear. And that's the wonderful thing with mindfulness. They've literally shown that if you can, and it's the executive functioning, like the frontal lobe. If you can literally say to yourself, and this is part of what I teach in my program, fear, fear, and be aware of the fear, you're less afraid, because you've now become somebody like watching the thing rather than stuck in it. Does that make sense? So even as I was running around the Paris subway station, which, like I said, is as complex as New York City. I grew up in New York City. This Paris metro, again, knowing no French, it's not easy to navigate. Even the French people literally didn't seem to know. I'm not lying. They didn't seem to know. They knew where they were going. Several French people, they knew where they were going, but they were really perplexed as to what, even if they seemed to understand my English. So, okay, so how did I deal with that fear? Again, how did I deal with that? I just kept looking for people who seemed like they might know what the hell they're doing. That's my answer. So if you have a fear of getting lost, now I could have studied the metro beforehand. For whatever reason, I didn't think it would be that complicated, guys. I think I literally had to take like 3 trains. It was just much more complicated than I thought to get from like the airport. I think came into a secondary airport, so I had to take a train into the main Paris, and then there's like 2 trains, and it was the last train out of Paris to the town. Literally, if I missed that train, guys, I would have been stranded in Paris, and I would have had to just sleep in the subway, which of course is terrifying, or try to find, and actually I could have found a hotel for that night. So I was literally catching the last train because the way the flights worked, it was just, and it wasn't even that late, it was, I came in at like 4 in the afternoon, but it was the last train by the time I got there that would have gone to this very small town. So, and I got through it. And that's the point of telling you the story is people helped me. Um, I remember trying to look at people and pick, do they seem like they could help? And so I'd pick different types of people. I'm not going to say anything because everything's so contentious now, the world we live in, but I just tried to, I picked different demographics, and sometimes I was just wrong, you know, um, like, okay, they seem like they'll be helpful to me, particular demographic, didn't know. Another demographic, okay, they're really young, they'll know. They didn't know, but they walked me over. And then another, whole other type of person came over to help. I think at one point I had 3 French people trying to help me, which was very cute. So let me look at your comments. So let me know if you have these fears or similar fears. And again, as I'm saying, it's different, I think, for men. The thing is, I do believe this is true. Let me know if you guys agree. People are more likely, I think, to help women. I think. I want to know what you think if that's true. But it is more scary being a woman alone in a foreign country where you really don't speak the language. Now, mind you, I know enough about kind of the culture. I feel like, oh, it's relatively safe, whatever. But it was very scary. Again, being over 60, you're getting into that age group. Are you going to get more help maybe because people do see the silver hair? Are they going to be kinder? I want to know what you guys think, and especially any men, if you've asked for help. Also, do you feel like people are more reluctant? Like, do you get a sense of that? Hold on, guys. Let me make sure my light doesn't go out. Oop, there. Put it all the way. Okay. So getting lost. So I did it, and I did definitely feel afraid. I definitely felt afraid. I was starting to like literally, because like I said, because it was the last train. If it wasn't the last train, I would have been like, there's a train at 11. I'll get it. I'll figure it out. Right. So, I mean, I have pretty good, and again, meditation helps that. But it literally, maybe the train was like a 6:30 train getting in like 3 hours later. Right. So it was that I knew it was the very last train. And I'm talking maybe 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes to catch the train. And the woman who ran the Airbnb it was my worst Airbnb experience. She was okay. But as I said before, I feel like the French are not super helpful. Like they're not like Southern, like, oh, how are you doing? And oh, let me help you. Are you okay? They're not giving you that warmth, that effusiveness. They're not. They're not. It's very much like, I'm here, you're there, and let's just. I think it's the politeness, but it comes off. I think it can come off to Americans as not being particularly warm. And again, I want to know what you guys think. Anybody who's traveled in France. And again, now I am in Paris. Paris is notorious for, the person I was my Airbnb worked in Paris and lived way outside of Paris. But they gave terrible instructions. Like literally, they tell me the next step and not tell me after that. So I kept having to text them and be like, okay, I'm there now. What do I do? I have like this many minutes to catch this. It was the worst. And again, tell me if you've had that. Like some people can't give directions, and that drives me crazy because I give very good directions based on visual. And I admit that may not be how everybody gets instructions. And I'm not going off tangent here. That can be a key thing when you're traveling. Some people give instructions in a very specific way. I can't even explain it. Maybe based more on address or north, south. They use different language than like I am visually Go and you'll see this. It's very visually based, which I think is simpler. So this person was just giving me one bit, then I text them, they wouldn't respond. Then they give me the next bit. And this kept happening. And I was like, she's trying to, like, I don't know what she's trying to do, like have me not get there. So let me look at your comments, but share with me if you had that. One, just dealing with fears that may be holding you back, because this was a fear. I'm like, if I get lost, I was not afraid to get lost in Italy. Um, but I had been in Italy once 20 years ago, and then more recently, like in November, I just didn't, because I have a little bit of Italian. Enough, sinistra, destra, right, left, dritto, go, go straight. I'm like, okay. And plus they're more expressive. I know I'm stereotyping, but it's true. It's true. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Donna. So Mel says, wow, see, this helps me. So Mel says, I haven't celebrated my birthday in 20 years, mostly because of family issues. Mel, yeah, don't feel bad about that. That's also for me. Okay. That's also for me. My family, that's what I mean. You feel like you come from this abnormal family, but my family, I mean, I'm saying I did. My family birthday was like, people, it was, oh, we had a big birthday party. We had a cookout. My family's like, what? My father literally would forget. Now, my father did end up having dementia. He never knew when my birthday was. Youngest child, never knew when my birthday was. Mom would usually get me a card, but there wasn't this whole thing, this whole kind of American stereotype of the cake and no, that's not how I grew up. Let me know if you have that similar experience. So Mel, yeah, it was never a big thing for me. So even now, um, anyway, now, when people are like, oh, happy birthday, it feels really good. Like I like it. And I feel it's like a warm feeling, but it's sad because growing up and teens, all it was just nothing. Just another day, another day, right? Thank you, Bev. Thank you. So it's not today. I'm just trying to mess with the internet bots and the dark web people. But just really recently I turned 62. So, and like I said, if I colored my hair, try to pass for like 52. I actually think I could, especially in some countries. But I'm not going to color my hair because the whole issue with the hair dyes and things is just problematic. It really does make a difference in how you look, and I have shared this before. The women give me a yes, this is true. There was a period of time I was coloring my hair, and you guys, I'd go to New York City. I was treated differently immediately, and I'm calling out you men immediately. So I colored my hair. I'd go out the next day. Literally, men would look at me, and they'd hold the door. When the gray hair was showing, they just go through the door. This is the truth. They would go through the door. The moment I think I took out all the gray, and it was like all black, right? This happened several times, like in the same day. They're going through the door, they hold the door, they smile. So ageism it's a real thing, gentlemen. And I know you're going to push back. Well, we don't know if women want us to hold the door anymore. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. All I can say is the shift from when I looked younger, right? When I didn't have the gray hair signifying age, I was treated absolutely differently, without a doubt. Okay. I'm just putting that out there. So guys, yes, I am blasting you for that. So Mel says, Viv, I'm in my early 40s. My father had probably given me about four gifts in my whole life. Partly because I don't want any old hand-me-downs. He loves freaking. That's good. My father would not, because that's not a thing in Jamaican culture. Like I'm sure, some people. I probably more would regift, but no, my dad that concept didn't exist for my dad or my mom. But dad was like, I buy you your school clothes. Okay, who's paying for the food? My dad is old school. Who's paying for the food? Who's paying part of this rent? Who's keeping you, alive? It's me. So that to him, that was the gift. That was the gift. You don't need an extra gift on your birthday. So yes, yes, yes. All right. So if you're just joining, I'm talking about some fears that I had to overcome, and they're mostly around traveling, but because that is the most recent fears. But they don't have to be, because as I was saying, everything I've shared so far, you could literally have as a fear in your hometown, or you know, doing something in America or wherever you are. So the first was the fear of traveling alone, fear of getting sick alone and abroad. It's a very, very deep fear. Some of us probably have that here, especially if you don't have kids. Fear of getting lost, went through all of that. Fear of running out of money. So that is also, and that's like a primal fear, because what that is like you won't be able to take care of yourself. And so that is a real issue if you are thinking about going abroad, the fear of running out of money. So what was my solution? That's what I wrote down. Have friends and family. In my case, family, literally. I hate to say this. I don't know if probably they would send me money, family, but I'm not 100% sure that they would. If I said, I am stranded in Zimbabwe, I'm in Ghana, and can you get me out? I don't know. I wouldn't count that. I actually have friends that, and this is what happened. That fear, I did not run out of money, because I'm not. I said I'm in Black Sit Global. It's a wonderful group run by Krishan Wright. And I'm in that group, and we have like a once a month get together. We talk about our goals. And somebody asked me a question, and I said, I'm the type who will jump and figure it out on the way down. And though running out of money abroad, I definitely left myself enough money to come back, guys. I don't want anybody, because I have also some young audience members, definitely make sure you have money, or you've pre-bought the ticket. You can get back home, okay? So that was fine. But what had happened was I had bought the ticket. And some of you know, I was supposed to go to the Netherlands, and that's when I started to feel sick. I could not exchange the ticket quickly. And I can't even, I'm still mad at them. I'm trying to think of what the airline was. It was a low cost airline. It might've been JetBlue, but I don't think it was, or Ryanair or something. And literally, you guys, within 48 hours, I went to change the ticket, and they're like, nope, 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 you cannot. They took a lot of my money. I want to say they took probably half, lost half the money, several $100s, which is a lot, a lot for me. Not being a billionaire, not being in the Billionaire Boys Club. So what happened though, because because I was out of the Airbnb on a certain date, right? And I bought the ticket. Now I have a ticket I can't use because I don't want to go to the Netherlands anymore. I needed to come back to the United States. So dear friends, got on, found me a ticket while I worked out, trying to get the refund from the ticket I had bought. As I said, I think I still have like a $300 credit. So they gave me credit, but you guys, literally, massive airline, they really couldn't just refund the ticket. I was like, I'll buy it. Like, let me, like just transfer it. So I'm not having to go to the Netherlands. Don't you fly out of Paris? Anyway, so I lost a couple $100, but friends bought me a new ticket so that it could line up with the dates I needed it to get me back home. So I love my friends. They're so sweet. They love me. Like I said, family, I think they'd be like, don't you have a credit card? This is what my family would say. So this is probably another fear. My family would say, Viv, don't you have a credit card? Put it on your credit card. That would be their response, rather than, okay, how can we help? She's stranded. She's family. No. And the final fear, and this is a deep one, was people not liking me while I'm abroad. Again, you guys, talk back to me. Let me know. Do any of these fears resonate for you? This one seems like the minor one, but I want to talk about it a bit because even though I'm not a travel channel, I have some overlap with some of the Black women travel channel on YouTube. and many of us are exiting, doing our Blaxit, right? Um, so in France, the best story I got, this wonderful cafe, I think it was actually called Artemis Cafe, which I liked. Artemis is another name for the goddess Diana. It looked like a cute cafe online. I finally found it because it was tucked away. It was like tucked away, but in plain sight, if that makes sense. It was behind another cafe, so you couldn't see it and you couldn't see its little chairs because this other cafe spilled out in front of it. Like when you look. Anyway, I went in there, you guys, and I am pretty bubbly, especially to people, especially in that type of interaction, because I feel like I've got nothing to lose, right? So with waiters, any sort of interaction like that, I'm pretty extroverted. I'm trying to be bubbly. The guy's like just so chilly. Finally, though, he says, "Where are you from? Where are you from?" He says. And I think, yeah, because I can't even say that in French. So I just said, I'm American. I know how to respond in Italian, but I said, I'm from America, or I'm American. He looked at me and he went back to making me the sandwich or I forget. It came with a salad, whatever it was. And he didn't say another word. Not another single word. This is what's happening to our reputation around the world. You guys, let me know what you think about it. So that was a real fear, and it's a hard fear because, again, if you're traveling alone, right? If you're alone, you're a woman alone in a foreign country, it is kind of, and I apologize if anything gets interrupted. It looks like there's a call coming in. Yeah, will people like me? And especially, right, Black people, people of color, we really need to know, how does a country treat us? And of course, it can be different. All my viewers know that because I have viewers, whether you're Black or not, you accept that there very well could be different treatment for different types of people. So, so yeah, that was a real fear. Will I make friends? Will people be nice? Maybe I'll make a friend. Um, I would say, how did I deal with that? I think for me, it was a sense of, and again, you're talking to young folks who want to travel, but a lot of the travel people don't mention this loneliness when you are bopping around. I didn't want to bring it up, even though I was live on another video, and I don't want to be seen as the negative one. It was not addressed. So I'm just saying to you, some of you who do want to travel abroad, and if you're traveling alone, and I know I'm the same way, and I'm an introvert, very independent, like very many Black women, but if you're traveling alone for a period of time, you can start to feel lonely or isolated, okay? I just want to warn you to try to mitigate that. Actually, recently, I forget which channel she did talk about that, but this was the first time, and I've watched the channel religiously. So how did I deal with it? I just really thought about it and I said, I reached out to friends back in America. And I did share this before. My other plan was to try to meet up with people from various expat groups online. I didn't end up doing that because I was like too shy and I was like, oh, I don't know. And, it's just a lot of work because then I go in the group, try to connect with somebody, figure it out. Do I want to hang out with this person? Do we have enough in common? Whatever. But I just had to get strong within myself to deal with that fear of like, what if I'm in this country and people just don't like me? And again, as a Black person, it's often hard. We have to tease out, do they just not like me? Or is this happening now? Do they not like Americans? Do they have a stereotype now of Americans, not based on the people, but based on the government or public figures? And that, is starting to be a real issue. That's what I felt in France, actually, was maybe some stereotypes about Americans. Again, this was not everywhere. Um, but I'm trying to think if it happened more than once, because once, of course, doesn't make a pattern. But I did feel, as I said, culturally, some cultures are going to be more cool to you, and it may not be racial at all. And so that's very difficult to know. I was watching a video with a really young, she was in her 20s, and she was like, I hate Albania. She was crying. They were horrible. I think she did say, though, a girl, a young girl touched her and like wouldn't like a group of like teenage girls were harassing her. And I think a guy pinched her butt. Like it was crazy. She definitely had, and she said people were watching, nobody did anything. Um, then I saw a newer video of hers where she's like, oh, things are better. I like Albania now. So I don't know, but it can be, there are some countries where people are cooler to foreigners. It doesn't matter your skin tone. It may not be that, or your skin tone, your ethnicity, some other physical attribute might indeed trigger them, right? So these are some fears, that I dealt with as I was traveling and had to really come to terms with. And so the good news is I really do feel, you guys let me know if you have any questions or comments at this point. I really do feel like it made me stronger. So all these fears that I talked about here, linking them with travel, but again, fear of being alone, right? Mine was fear of traveling alone, but fear of being alone, especially for women, that's a real fear. You get sick, or yeah, who will help you if you need help, right? That's my getting lost. um, Running out of money, right? Many Americans don't have enough money for their basic needs. So these fears are not even exclusive to traveling. So I just feel that we want to be able to see the fear rather than what happens. As a spiritual coach, I'll share this with you. So, what happens for many of us is we have a fear and it's behind us and we can't, so it just scares us, but we're almost not aware of it. So, that unawareness of fears that might be running us, you don't want. You don't want that. You want to actually see the fear, feel the fear, and be like, so the way you deal with it is be kind of loving towards the fear. Like, yes, when I started to feel unwell, I was like, oh my gosh. So there was this initial panic, but then I calmed down and I said, I literally was like, well, the worst that could happen, I could go to sleep and not wake up, or have to call an ambulance in the night. And then I realized I didn't know how to call an ambulance in France. You should always know how to call an ambulance. I think I looked it up. It might be 211, it might be star something. Always know how to call for help or an ambulance or anything like that in a foreign country. Okay. This isn't travel tips, but that is one that definitely is important. So being able to just see the fear, breathe through it, be aware that you're feeling the fear, and a meditation technique that I teach that is a classic technique is, again, it's called labeling or noting. So you note what's happening. Like if you had a horrible fight and you feel guilty, you literally can meditate and just say guilt, or guilty, or emotional. You label what you're feeling, and that literally helps bring it down. So if you're anxious, even, okay, you can literally say anxious. And by saying it, they've scientifically shown, and this is an ancient technique, but science has now shown that the labeling calms down the part of the brain that is feeling the thing. As I said, because you've now been able to identify what that like threat is. And so there's a part of you that's become bigger than whatever the threat is. Okay. And this is something, like I said, I teach in Soulful Mindfulness for women. Okay. So comments, questions. I know talking about fear, I think for many people, they just don't want to deal with it, or they may be like, oh, that's not my fear. But you guys share in the chat. Did any of these resonate with you? I just wanted to make a new, to be here live with you today. And if anybody watching would like a card draw from either the Faces of Oshun, so the Divine Feminine and the Goddess Oshun, or the deck that is the Sacred Traveler, and the theme, like I realize I do like that, to have a theme that I share, but then have the card readings be that theme, is what hidden fears might be holding you back? What hidden fears? So I don't know who's still here. Donna, Donna, did you register yet? Are you still here? Donna, if you, and actually this is for everyone in terms of soulful mindfulness and healing touch. If you've taken Introduction to Mindfulness with me, if you've taken earlier versions of this program, go ahead and register at the lower price, which is right on the page, okay? Again, early registration closes tonight, Sunday at midnight, if I am up to undo it. I probably will leave it up till the morning, to be really honest with you, because it's not automated. I have to like take it down. So if you want to register and study with me and learn how to actually work with your fears, emotions, thoughts that might be repetitive or coming up a lot, um, and just to reclaim your calm, as I'm saying, that's like the tagline for it, then do sign up. I would love to work with you. If you are a woman, a Black woman, or woman of color, in a small group setting, and we'll practice together. And literally from the first class, I promise you, you will feel changes in how calm you feel and how good you feel, okay? Meditation actually makes you feel good if you're doing it properly. I can promise you that. So the guys can't take it this session. If you literally know you would register and you're a guy, let me know in the comments or wherever, and I could start another cohort, or for the next cohort, have it and just tell people, it's open in this way. All right. So I just want to, again, I'll wait if anybody wants to have me pull a card related to what fear might be holding you back in your life in whatever area. So while I wait, see if anybody's interested in that. I just want to thank Mel for being here, Bev for being here, Donna for being here, and who else? Who else said hi? I think that's it. Who actually clicked through? And said hi? Yeah, Mel, Bev, Greg, and Donna. So very grateful that you're here. If you're just joining and you want me to do a card draw for you about what fears may be holding you back, then type in the chat right now. Otherwise, I'm going to sign off and have you just go back and see from the beginning. So, because I've been here for about 45 minutes. Yeah, Donna, I would love, love, love to see you in there, especially because of your background. I know, like, and guys, I did actually, guys, goddesses, guys, no, guys. I did add a guarantee, okay, which is a very tricky thing for me because I want you to really commit to the program. But if you enroll and you attend the first 2 classes, you have to come to class. You can't just be like, oh, I changed my mind. No, no, no. This is to really hold you to the fire that you want, this amazing self-care that you're going to learn, right? So if you come to the first 2 classes and you do the homework, which I can't really police that you did the homework, but you have to attend the first 2 classes. And if after the first 2 classes you don't feel like you're getting what was promised, you don't feel more deeply relaxed, you don't feel like you know how to get yourself into that state, okay, you don't have to take the whole 8, but after the first 2, then you email assistant at In the Flow of Magic and you say, and you have attended, I've seen you, we're here, I've seen you attend, and you say, yeah, I want a refund, then you'll get a refund, okay? So that is, that happens in less than, it's like a week because we meet on Sundays. Okay? And we start October 5th. I believe it's the 5th, not the 4th. I believe it's the 5th. So again, a beautiful program for women. I have my testimonials there, some from private clients, some from who took the course before. And again, remember, I use the word course. You're not just going to be sitting there looking at videos that are recorded and just reading. I'm guiding you in real time. Okay, so we form a little community and you're in real time with women from Canada, the United States, England, mostly are where the women have come from that have taken the program, right? They might be Californians, there's a cohort that Often, you know, California folks are into this, the self-care, the mindfulness, the meditation, okay? The liberation, people are using that word a lot. You can't really liberate yourself unless you know how to meditate. And I really mean that because actually meditation is about liberation. That's the language used when you're enlightened. It is called liberation. Okay? I don't know if some of you may not know that. They attained liberation. So that word is getting tossed around in the community. Learn how to meditate. I will teach you 4 different ways. I will talk to you about when is the right time to meditate and which meditation to choose that is right for you. Okay? This isn't like, you know, astral travel, how to do that. This is like the base of meditation that's been scientifically studied, where you work with your mind, your thoughts, your emotions, your body. So it gives you the base for all the other types of meditation, okay? I, I promise you, from the first session, you will feel amazing. And then the second session, we start to really get more into types of meditation. And probably around the third session is where I'll introduce the acupressure points that are healing. Okay. Oh, one quick thing for Donna. Donna, the price is going to go up. So register by tonight if you can for the lowest price. Okay. Because we're in early registration. So, yes. Okay. Oh, and Donna says she'd like, yes. Um, okay. So again, my theme is going to be, I'll pull 2 for you, Donna. I'm going to pull from both because they're very different. That's why I love them. The Oshun deck really gives you the highs and lows of being a Black woman and really being a human. This deck could work for men. Oop, it won't focus. And as I always say, I had a youngish man who came for a reading, and he told me that he loves Abiola's goddess decks because he really resonates with the divine, you know, feminine, with the goddess, right? All the manifestations, cultures around the world, Africa, South America. I'm watching Jason Momoa's series. They had a volcano, and they were calling the goddess Pele their volcano goddess. Very powerful. It's interesting that they make the volcano a woman. You know, they're like, this is her manifestation. It's a female, and yeah, when she's upset, typically it could also be support. I believe with Pele, she may sort of shoot off some lava. Is anybody who's watching now watching that Jason Momoa series, Chief of War? Oh my gosh, did I not bring? Okay, guys. If anybody wants Sacred Traveler, I may have to go get the deck. I only bought the Ocean deck. So that is, Donna, what you're going to get. All right. So I'm going to just tune in to Donna. As I mentioned, I tune into my higher self. And especially in a private reading, I really tune into my higher self and then literally see my higher self connecting with the higher self of the person I'm reading for. Okay. So that it gets translated through that sort of loving, wise aspect of ourselves rather than the personality self. So let's talk about what fears might Donna need to be aware of that could be holding her back or impeding her in any way. Okay. Wow. Okay. What is this? Oh. Ooh. Okay. Okay. So she got. I'm going to try to bring it closer, guys. Yeah, it's focusing. Yay. iPhone is, this is new, you guys. I don't know what update they did to the iPhone. It did not used to do this. And I noticed it with some other people too, that their camera was moving. So she got Ocean of Divine Wrath, Anger, Resentment, Vengeance. Wow. Okay, so because my question to Spirit was, hold on. There we go. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Look at that. And it's 23, which adds up to 5, my favorite number. And I also like the number 23. So Oshun of Divine Wrath, Anger, Resentment, and Vengeance. Okay, let me tell you more about that and let me get you the affirmation. So That's what I was saying about this deck. I feel like it really gives us the full range of emotions. It doesn't just sugarcoat anything. So this is for Donna. Donna, you need to, these are some of the emotions you need to confront. So, is there some rage? It can be a catalyst for change, though. It's not, and I don't believe it's saying it's bad. It's just becoming aware of it. What has hurt you? What is the resentment? It's almost like it's something that's stuck into you, is what I'm getting, and you need to like pull it out. So it's not blaming you, but it's like if we had an injury and the little like a piece of it is stuck within us is what I'm really getting for you, and you need to pull that out. You need to get it out. Okay, you will not be punished for your anger, you will be punished by your anger. So let's give you the affirmation that Abiola wrote, because she wrote this beautiful guidebook. She says, I acknowledge my anger as a tool for self-awareness and growth. So this is from the Oshun initiation of shadows, looking at the shadow part of ourselves. And that's another thing. And I know there's, some of you have had to go. That's fine. Obviously, they're not here. Those of you who are here. Another thing that meditation does is it allows us to see the shadow sides of ourselves, but in a loving way. Maybe I'll make a separate video about that. So it's always with kindness. It doesn't have to be shared with anybody else, but we'll have awareness of this. So again, I'm going to read this for Donna. Donna, I acknowledge, so you can repeat this. This is your affirmation. I acknowledge my anger as a tool for self-awareness and growth, because your anger means somebody probably harmed you in some way, or you felt harmed by someone. So for all of you watching this, especially for the women, we're told not to be angry, right? That's like the worst thing for a woman to be, really, is anger. She can cry, she can be sad, she can feel ashamed, she can feel guilty, but anger in a woman is not generally considered positive, because there's no, what is it, like wrath, like a woman scorned. But that is, some people call that the dark feminine, right? The dark feminine aspect is our rage, anger. It can scare, especially men. So, but you can use it as a tool for self-awareness and growth. Because yes, someone breached a boundary for you. And I'm not just talking to Donna here. When we have anger, we felt hurt, even if they did not mean to hurt us. And so can we look at that as our growth? I'm actually very grateful that I pulled this card, because I literally, as I'm talking, had an insight about a friend. You guys know I made a video about female relationships. Even if the person didn't intend to hurt you, you can have this anger because you felt hurt, you felt pain. And it's important to acknowledge that before you're forced into like forgiveness or let it go, they didn't mean to, right? Is some part of you felt hurt. So I think that's really, really important. Hey, Gregory. Hey, yeah, no, just talking about this card that was drawn here. So what I like about this Oshun deck is she has the shadow aspects. Like, we all get angry, but like I said, especially women, we're told we're not supposed to be angry. It's usually okay for more men to be angry. It's not okay for them to like have a rage. Though having said that, can we think of someone who gets to be angry publicly, gets to kind of vent, let off steam on other people really publicly, right? And maybe you have noticed an increase in people venting their anger, expressing their anger, their rage in public, right? Because it's all by example, right? It's, oh, is this okay? Oh, okay, it's okay because so and so is doing it. So this deck is more about your healing. Let me see what else I can read to you. So, Donna, and anyone dealing with anger in the present moment, what they suggest is a physical activity, which is definitely, I would tell a client. But they're talking about pounding a boxing bag. I actually have one in my basement that the woman who sublet for me, the young girl who moved all my stuff, she put you guys, the bag weighs like 100 pounds. I swear to God, it's huge. It's this thick, long, like punching bag, heavy. It's like an authentic punching bag, and it hangs from this huge hook from my ceiling. And I'm having to go around it in my basement. in a narrow space. I'm like, my God, why did she put this up? Why didn't she take it down? My landlord is so kind. I helped him because he's holding the heavy bag and he's like, okay, get the hook, get the hook. So get a punching bag, Donna, or running or even screaming into a pillow. After the release, sit in a quiet space to meditate. I did not make that up. It says sit in the quiet space to meditate, focusing on transforming your wrath into a force for positive change. Yeah. So do not be ashamed about anger. I actually feel like I should just talk about that in a separate video. Women are shamed for being angry. What that leads to is then they suppress the anger and it comes out in different little hidden ways, which is not as healthy. Okay? You guys, what do you think of that? Like, that's interesting. That's where I'm going to probably close today, but it's true. When women or anyone is not really allowed like an expression of their anger. He said it could just be go out and like, I don't know, me, I'd probably get a tree limb that's fallen down and like hit the ground with it, right? Some sort of expression. Other cultures, there was dance that was more active than we typically have in the West. You could dance it out, or you'd go to the shaman, you'd go talk to somebody, or you'd go do something physical. You'd go hunt a bison or something. You do something. You had something physical you could do. We don't tend to have that as much. So anyway, Donna, I hope that was helpful. Let me know if that was helpful, that card. And if anybody else, I'm actually going to go, I really wanted to pull from the Traveler's deck, but if nobody else wants a reading, then I won't, right? Because I just did for Donna. Donna was the only one. All right. So Donna, let me know though, was that helpful? Did that resonate? Were you feeling some anger there? And again, look at the piece of it that you feel hurt. Look at the source of the anger, what in you felt hurt, and just be kind to that piece and that part of yourself. Um, yeah. Bev, did you hear? I don't know if Bev is still here. Bev, have you heard me talking about my soulful mindfulness and healing touch, my program? For anything, for any stress you're dealing with. Now, a lot of the women didn't seem like the word stress resonated with them, and I think that's because this strong Black woman, stress is normal, but they did resonate with sort of emotional balance. That phrase, like getting emotional balance, getting mentally calm. Absolutely, what meditation does. So, Bev, if you had not heard about it, my program where I work live with you. I'm going to just put the link in the live chat, okay? The early registration price ends tonight at midnight. I'm supposed to take it down at midnight. That's what I said. What I said I would do, what I said to my email list if I'm up at midnight, okay? And I won't take it down before midnight because I said midnight, right? So I'll probably take it down in the morning, but consider registering, and I know it would be really, really helpful. Oh, okay. Good. Okay, this is what Donna says. All right. I'm just looking at my computer here. And yes, you guys can see her comment now. She says, very helpful. It applies right now so much. Donna, I want to pull from the Traveler's deck for you. So give me 1 second. And guys, Gregory, if you want me to pull for you, whoever else is here, I'm going to go get the other cards. All right. Hold on 1 second here. Okay, I got all the cards, right? Instead of just the ones that I had pulled for myself. Also, please subscribe if you're not subscribed. If you've watched this far, especially, and you're not live, but you're from the future, please subscribe. Thank you very, very much. And again, this deck is the Sacred Travel Oracle deck. All right. So this is to go with what Donna got. I want to get more information for her. So I'm going to, let me just shuffle, let me just get quiet a little bit. Because I think that there is more for her. Anybody else who's here? Do you want me to do a card draw? This was supposed to be around what fear might be holding her back, but instead it was a different emotion, okay? Our emotions as human beings are, it's all that's happening. Okay, I really want to shuffle a lot though. I want to clear the energy. I'm gonna shuffle. Hold on. They're hard for me to hold. They're like just almost too big. Okay. What else does she need to know about this? I'm gonna relate it to dealing with this anger and resentment. And this is the card. Oh, okay, I always face it the wrong way. Wow. Okay, wait. What is this, you guys? It's blurry. I can't even read it. Okay, what's it say? Rainbow blessings. Okay, I'm gonna take this as okay, I'm gonna move this so you can see me. If she deals with the issue, that rainbow blessings will pour in. That makes so much sense to me, because I'm going to share with you guys again, just as a spiritual teacher. You guys know I've been on YouTube for a while and talk about a lot of different things, but what I felt more recently is that when our emotions get locked down, and this is for you guys as well, divine masculine, divine feminine manifestations, when our emotion can lock up our blessings. That sounds like a video. I get all these video ideas talking to you guys. Our emotion is coded with our energy. Our life force is locked in an emotion, right? So say you get in a fight with your spouse, your partner, and you're locked around it, you resent it, right? And definitely, I've been experiencing that, like I said to you, with like friendships and like what is the problem? But that holds your energy. So spirit is saying that for Donna, rainbow blessings are showering into her life. And I feel like it will be exactly as a result of when she clears some of those emotions. Donna, does this resonate with you? So often it's abundance blessings, but it doesn't just have to be. It could be opportunities, and maybe I'm being too bold, but even my program, it's going to bring in positive into your life. It could be new people. So let's see. I think that they give an affirmation. Just saying, yeah, blessings of all forms are cascading into your life. So maybe you're not noticing that also is what I'm getting, right? Because this anger, it doesn't sit with these rainbow blessings. So it's like God wants to send this to you, but it's being obscured is what I'm going to say. I'm just channeling this. It's like being obscured by the anger, which I feel like is older, Donna. It's older. And like I said, it needs to be let go. It needs to be extracted. This is oh my gosh, it's a great time. Okay, this part I didn't remember about this card. It's a great time to start a project, Donna, to initiate a relationship, purchase a house, or anything like that. Okay. Wow, rainbow blessings. So your actions will be blessed. Um, Let go of hesitations and concerns. Whatever you dream of for your future, this is the time to start. You will succeed. Wow. Okay. So this is for Donna. Yes, you will succeed. You will succeed. You are being blessed right now. You need to see the blessings and you need to take action. So what I always get, and why sometimes I didn't like pulling cards, is because it can make people passive and they're like, oh, blessings. Okay, so the blessings are you have to take the steps. So maybe there's something, Donna, you're thinking of doing, or an opportunity is given to you and you're kind of back here. This card is saying, no, lean into this. This is a blessing. Okay, you follow me? Gregory says, okay, do it. What, you want a card draw? Is that it? Sun Yu says, thank you. Hi, Sun Yu. Donna says in response, okay, yes, she says it's definitely older, the hurt. Yes, that's what I feel like. But this is a great card. This is probably, Donna, if not the best card in the deck. Let me look at the deck real quick. Okay, hold on. They're mostly positive. They're mostly positive. about where you are in your journey. I'm trying to think. There's like one that is like narrow passage that's like move carefully, be careful, consider. But most of them are very good. But this is like among the top three. So again, this that I drew for her, this is saying you are being blessed right now. Don't overlook these blessings that are in your life. Take advantage of them, act to them, say yes to them, Donna. Okay, so Gregory, I think, wants me to pull something. And Sanyu, yeah, I think your name is new to me, but it could just be that I forgot. So for Gregory, I'm going to pull from, I say Mama Ocean deck. What does Gregory need to know? Whether it is about a fear or anything that might be holding him back. What helpful information, guidance can you give to him now in this present moment, this present energy? Okay, just tuning in. Just a moment more. Okay, this card wants to come out. That is interesting. Okay, maybe it's about a woman in his life. Huh. Okay, so this divine feminine, right? So all the images are of women. Now, this goddess, let's see. Cycles, transition, closure. Okay, Gregory. So this is card number 44. You're going through, it seems like the end of a cycle in your life. I think it could also be a smaller portion of your life. Definitely cycles, transition, closure. Something is ending. Now she looks happy to me, so she's like, I'm gonna let this go. It's over. Let me know if that resonates for you, Gregory, and I'm gonna give you the affirmation. Okay, from this deck. Faces of Oshun, number 44. Note that number, 44. I'm watching a channel, you guys, and I believe this actually. There's several channels on YouTube about like winning the lottery is not an accident. This man has won several lotteries, like not just one, right? Several, and he teaches it, and he claims, I'm not sending you to this guy, I'm just saying he claims he's had students win, they'll win 20,000, 30,000. He's had students win, I think he said over $1 million. He's had 2 students, and I'm like, okay, the odds are, so yeah, talking about law of attraction, talking about seeing it, talking about getting into like, I don't like the word the void, but getting into that space where creation happens. Anyway, I don't know why that made me think of this. But yeah, 44, somehow that number made me go into that lottery thing. So this is for Gregory. I embrace the beauty of endings. That's it. I embrace the beauty of endings. Cycles, transition, closure. You're being told to really end something. Shut the door, wrap it up. Don't hang on to it. I'm really curious what this is. Okay, you're also, though, you do need to complete unfinished business with it. Gregory, let me know how this resonates. This is an area of your life. So it can be things like shifting roles even within the job, if it's the same job, or again, depending on if I pull more cards, retirement, but it doesn't have to be something so big. It's a cycle, and you need to go with that flow. It's something wants to leave your life. It could be an emotion. It could be something negative. It could be, maybe it's a car. It could be a car that you need to let go of. It's served you. It's the end of its lifespan. I don't know. I'm just kind of channeling there. Let's see what. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I did. Oh, you went from the Traveler's deck too. Well, first, Sanyu. Okay. Sorry. Just glanced up real quick. Hey, Sanyu. So Gregory, yes, I'm going to pull another one for Greg because I want to know what this cycle is, and I want to show you guys, like, I like when things make sense. So this is for Gregory. What is this cycle? So clearly in his life, he's dealing with transition. It says time to make a change, move on. Something is ending, closure, close it up. I'm currently in school, could be a career change. Well, yeah. Any sort of change. Are you ending school, right? Is school ending? Says you're currently in school and could be a career change. Okay. Okay. I'm going to find out more for you. Is there more that Gregory can know about this? What the cycle is? More clarity? Huh. That's interesting. I don't want to say that because, the imagery, I don't know if it may have to do with women in your life because you got this really beautiful card here. Voyage of the heart. Love flows through you and to you. Love flows through you and to you. So, Gregory, I don't know. I'm feeling like this may have to do with the feminine in your life. Interesting. Does that resonate at all? You're saying school. In a month and a half. Yeah. Right. Well, that will be a transition. In a month and a half, you'll be transitioning out. But there's something about love. There's something about love there. Come back and tell me. And also, it is also really much coming from the divine feminine. This is a card saying you are beloved. You are deeply loved and profoundly lovable. You are a sacred vessel for love to flow through you. So this is like a blessing card. You're being told. Ooh, let's see. Ooh, wow. Let's see how close in we'll get. Let me pull back. It went real. You guys, I love playing with this camera. You're being told about yourself. I'm getting very much heart chakra. Gregory, I don't know if this is an upsurge in a current relationship, like something with healing the heart, maybe past relationships, but I'm definitely getting, even when I pulled this card, I was like, oh, I feels like it's more about love, and things of the heart, relationships. Trust the messages from your heart and follow them, even if they're at odds with your mind. Angels and guides are communicating with you now. Yeah, this is this is a card of opening your heart, Gregory. So you do say that you're finishing school. And I know, like, men, of course, they want to go, like, be, very rational, right? What makes sense to do now? What's the right thing to do? But this card is giving me more heart centered. And in many cultures, and the West hasn't discovered this yet. This is true, you guys. Many cultures, they don't say think about things. They say heart, mind, like your heart. Like, what do you feel is kind of how you think. It's not just like in the West, it's our brain, right? It's the brain, the brain, the brain. Be logical. Many, many cultures are more heart-based, like the feeling. So that's what I'm just saying, Gregory. I don't know if it's something with a relationship. It's positive. It's definitely positive, or to open your heart more, or a woman in your life healing, or you helping her heal. But these cards, yeah, it feels more that it's in the emotional realm is what I'm getting. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, if you are single, yeah, that's what I'm getting then. If you are single, I'm getting that may be the shift closing one part of your life, honestly. Okay. All right. Let me know. Let's see. Now, Sanyu would like, hi, Sanyu. Okay, Sanyu, and what I was doing for it to be helpful, I was talking about fears in the earlier part of the video. And yes, I will use the Traveler's deck for you at your request. That life is a journey. I like it. It's super. It tends to be more positive. No shadow work stuff. Honestly, like the Ocean deck. That's fine. So thanks, Gregory. Thanks for letting me do that. Pull for you. Gregory says, I personally am close to wanting to be in a relationship. Well, that might be you opening your heart. That's what that second card feels like. It's about you. love and opening your heart in general, like in a general way. Okay, so Sun Yu, I'm shuffling now. What we want to find out, what I'm asking Spirit, is what might be holding Sun Yu back in terms of any fears or any emotions or any blockage. What would be helpful for them to know? Okay, let me do one more shuffle. Okay, starting fresh now. This is for Sun Yu. This is just one card. Ooh, I like this one. I get this one a lot. Okay, get it to focus. Here we go. Whoa. Navigating by the stars. Navigating by the stars. Follow your bliss. That's what you got. See? It's a very positive deck. Very positive deck. I will try to put a link below. If you buy anything that I give a link for, it might be an affiliate link, and I literally get like at no charge to you, maybe like $1.50, probably less from Amazon, because Mr. Bezos is tight with his coins. So you got Navigating by the Stars, Follow Your Bliss. This is a beautiful card that means follow what you love. Follow what you love. It's a very mystical card, Sun Yu. Okay, it's a card of following your dreams. It's like the star card in tarot, is what I would say. I think it's the nearest that what it is. You see the man out in the night, and there's just a sense of magic. Follow your bliss. So what gives you pleasure, what makes you happy, is a sense also, don't listen to others who may try to talk you out of what you want. So if you're new to the channel, if I pull a card, I need to get your feedback. I need to know tell me more what this is about, that it resonates with you or not. It says, trust your gut, have faith that a higher power is, like I said, it's a very mystical card. It's a card that if you follow where you're being led, the signs you're being shown, Sun Yu, they'll bring you to a place that is maybe more beautiful than you could have imagined. Okay, so let me know. Type in the chat right now. I want to know more details from you about what this is about. Be patient. You're also being urged to be patient and relax and trust. This is a card of trusting that may not be instantaneous. Okay, look at that beautiful imagery. It may not be instantaneous, but you're on a journey. You're on a journey, and navigation means like watch the signs, and that's a big part of what I teach on this channel. Okay. Ooh, what was that? Did you guys hear that? Oh, okay. Well, Gregory, I think that's changing. I really do. I think that's changing. Um, Sanyu, how does this resonate with you? Are you still here? Sanyu, I don't pick for people if they don't respond back, because it literally takes energy for me to tune in. It's not just like instant. Um, it takes energy for me to tune in and to ask for that answer. So yeah, your life is divinely guided. Listen to that, trust it, and take the steps. Take the steps. My sense is it will be joyous for you. It will be pleasurable for you. That's how you know that you're navigating in the right direction, right? It's not going to feel painful. It's not something that you need to struggle. Okay, this Navigating by the Stars card is very much about following your inner knowing, your inner guidance. So let me take that down. So Sanyu, that was for you. I don't think Sanyu is still here. Sanyu has disappeared into the internet ethers. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Yes. So yeah, I think Sanyu has left the building. So that's the only thing I don't like about that's why I don't tend to do a whole video where I'm just pulling cards, because you guys, what happens is YouTube will show that you're live and people are like, oh, they're pulling cards. They'll just pop in. They have no connection to the channel often. And it's just, just like, oh, do this. And then they leave. So I don't love that. Maybe they're driving, who knows? So Sanyu, hope that was helpful. So guys, I've been live for about an hour and 20 minutes. Again, for ladies watching this, women, Black women and women of color, this cohort of Soulful Mindfulness is in registration now. We start October 5th, but the early registration ends tonight. Okay, that early registration, that discount, it's literally like $16 a class. Is that right? That sounds too low, honestly. Maybe 21 a class, but I don't think it is. I'm bad with math. Um, it for basically tools and practices that are going to stand you for a lifetime of more ease, what to do when you are stressed. It's just, you're going to have this in your toolbox. So if you are a Black woman or a woman of color and you're interested, then click the link. I'll put it one more time before I go. Okay, that's my last commercial for this. Again, I don't want you to miss the early registration pricing. Okay, and we meet on Sundays. We meet at a time that I think will work for many people. Okay, because it's East Coast time, it's the end of the day on Sunday. Most of us have completed what we had to do on a Sunday, especially as we're going into the winter. Okay, Yoga Journal said of me, because I'm trying to remember what they said. It was so cute. They said she shares her something with style and grace, ease and grace, something like that. It was nice. Okay. So that's what Yoga Journal said. All right. I will see you soon, guys. Mwah. Much love. So videos usually on Tuesday and then a live on Sunday. Also, I have a 5-minute meditation video that I just made. Watch it, do it, 5 minutes. Really beautiful affirmations are in it to start your day. Highly recommend it. All right. Mwah. Mwah. Much love. And Sanyu. Yes, Sanyu, you didn't say anything about your card. But Sanyu is asking Gregory a question. All right. I'm out, guys. Peace. Bye. Bye for now.